Daniel wasn't chasing high-stakes secrets. He was chasing stability and deadlines. A single father and independent mechanic, he was known for taking on the toughest jobs just to keep his small garage afloat and save for his daughter, Emily's, college fund. His current mission: salvage parts from a vast, defunct corporate campus before it was demolished. The location was a massive underground parking structure, a maze of concrete pillars and shadows, abandoned since 2019. He was there for old battery packs, but deep in the B4 level, far past the security lights, he found the anomaly. It wasn't covered in a canvas sheet, but simply left to be consumed by the humidity and dust. A BMW M4, its iconic aggressive stance unmistakable even under a thick blanket of gray grime. The tires were flat, the exterior looked battered, not from an accident, but from neglect and maybe slight vandalism. The smell of stale air and mildew hung heavy. Daniel checked the plates. Missing. The VIN number had been professionally etched out of the chassis. This wasn't merely abandoned. It was erased. He opened the door. The interior was a disaster. Mold blooming on the leather, the dashboard electronics dead. Yet this wasn't just scrap. Under the grime, the bones were good. It was a recent model M4. A quick mental calculation told him the selling price of a fully restored M4 could solve all his financial problems in one go. The risk was huge, but the potential payoff, Emily's future, was undeniable. Daniel, the realist, decided he had to claim this ghost. The hours he spent extracting the car were brutal. He knew he wasn't just pulling steel. He was pulling a mystery out of the darkness. Back at his modest garage, the M4 looked monstrous under the fluorescent lights. After a heavy cleaning session, revealing a dark, metallic blue paint beneath the dust, Daniel started the diagnostics. The engine was seized due to lack of use, not damage. He found the first major oddity under the driver's seat. It was a small, custom-made steel plate installed post-factory. Using a set of hex keys, he removed it, revealing a cavity protected by lead foil, similar to the classified documents in the Dauntless story. Inside was a single, sleek electronic device, a high-end data module, not a car part. The module contained a single, massive data file, protected by encryption. But the file name wasn't cryptic. It was a single word: alibi. Daniel was a mechanic, not a cryptographer. But he knew enough about modern BMWs to check the infotainment system. After troubleshooting the dead screen, he managed to power up the console. The car system was running a customized, hidden operating system. Deep within the user files, he found a unique key, a QR code embedded in a forgotten owner's manual PDF. It was clearly the key to the alibi file. He scanned the code and successfully unlocked the data module. What he found wasn't bank manifests or gold bars, but a continuous, unedited 4K video stream spanning 72 hours. The footage was recorded from the dashboard of the M4 itself. This wasn't an alibi for the driver. This was the driver's self-incrimination. The video showed the driver, identified as Marcus Reed, a disgraced tech CEO, engaging in the Orion data theft of 2019, using the M4 as a mobile server hub during the hack. The footage culminated in Marcus looking frantic, erasing the VIN, and then walking away, leaving the M4 precisely where Daniel found it. Daniel realized the M4 was intentionally left as evidence of an unsolved crime. He knew he couldn't simply sell it. His path to profit had to be through honesty and legal compliance. The story of Daniel and the M4 proves that sometimes, the most valuable part of a salvage job isn't the metal you cut, but the truth you uncover. If you loved this journey from derelict car to mechanical triumph, don't miss out on our next adventure. Subscribe to the channel for more tales of fortune hidden in abandoned vehicles. Thanks for watching. Daniel reached out to a lawyer specializing in civil law regarding discovered property and intellectual theft. He presented the module and the footage. The lawyer confirmed the M4 was the missing link in the corporate lawsuit. The car and its video module were the key to recovering Orion Corporation's massive losses. The lawyer quickly devised a plan, turning Daniel's garage into a temporary, quasi-federal evidence locker. Daniel, however, had a unique angle. He didn't want the legal headache, he wanted the car restored and sold. The lawyer negotiated a groundbreaking agreement with Orion Corporation and the federal prosecutors. Daniel would receive a substantial finder's fee for the evidence and a highly lucrative contract to professionally restore the M4 under federal supervision. The car would then be sold by the court, with Daniel earning a substantial fee for the restoration work itself. The clock was ticking. Daniel had 6 weeks to transform the ghost of a crime into a pristine, saleable machine. The restoration began, turning the crime scene into a legitimate sanctioned project. The first major step was the seized engine. Daniel found the original cause of the seizure. Marcus Reed, in his haste, had poured a small amount of an unknown substance into the oil filler cap, not enough to ruin the engine permanently, but enough to ensure it wouldn't start for days. It was a time-delayed mechanism to buy his escape. But the M4 held one last secret, a mechanical trap, similar to the unexploded bomb in the Dauntless engine block. As Daniel was preparing to replace the fuel pump, he noticed an irregularity in the undercarriage bracing. It wasn't simple damage. It was deliberate. A small, high-density metal housing was welded deep within the suspension housing, disguised as an auxiliary bracket. It contained highly specialized tracking and listening equipment, military-grade, designed to monitor Orion Corp's rivals. The M4 was not just a server. It was a mobile surveillance unit. Daniel stopped immediately. This wasn't Marcus Reed's doing. This technology was far beyond a disgraced CEO. This pointed to the dark underbelly of the corporate world, funded by someone even higher up, the anchor of this new saga. Daniel realized the M4 was a pawn in a much larger game of industrial espionage. He carefully documented the device and immediately called his lawyer. The discovery of the surveillance equipment changed the legal trajectory. The M4 became a central piece of evidence in an international industrial espionage case, implicating several powerful, unnamed figures. Daniel's honesty not only closed the 2019 data theft but exposed a global network. Despite the mounting complexity of the espionage case now tied to the M4, Daniel's focus on his contract remained singular. The car had to be perfect. The body was stripped, the metallic blue paint meticulously reapplied, returning its aggressive sheen. The moldy interior was replaced with high-quality, period-correct components. Daniel, the humble mechanic, was performing work worthy of a top-tier European specialty shop. Every bolt, every wire, and every surface was treated not just with mechanical skill, but with the reverence of a historical restorer. He meticulously documented the location of every removed piece of evidence, ensuring the chain of custody remained unbroken, a key demand of the federal agents overseeing the process. The final touches were the most satisfying. The engine, now fully serviced after the clean-out of Marcus Reed's sabotage, fired up with a glorious, guttural V6 growl. It was a beast reborn. Daniel had turned a crime scene into a masterpiece, a symbol of legal justice and mechanical skill. The M4 was finally ready for its court-ordered auction. The vehicle was listed not merely as a used M4, but as a documented piece of history, the Orion server car. This fact created an immediate frenzy among high-end collectors and automotive museums. The car's documented history as the centerpiece of a major federal case, the ultimate example of a getaway server, added a unique collector's value, pushing the expected sale price far beyond a standard M4. The auction itself was a tense, highly publicized affair handled by the courts. The final bid was placed by an anonymous collector, acquiring the car for an astounding $185,000. The legal proceedings that followed were the true labyrinth. The funds from the sale, combined with the damages recovered from Marcus Reed and the unnamed corporate figures implicated by the espionage gear, were pooled. Daniel's lawyer worked tirelessly to ensure he received the full compensation entitled to him under maritime law principles adapted for asset recovery. Daniel's cut, combining his substantial finder's fee for solving the Orion data theft, the bonus reward for exposing the highly sensitive espionage ring, and the full labor fee for the complex, federally monitored restoration, totaled a life-changing $320,000. The payment was not just money. It was freedom. The humble garage was safe. Emily's college fund was secured, and Daniel was finally able to purchase the commercial property he had been renting for years. More importantly, He used the remaining funds to move his operations into a larger, professional space, specializing in high-end vehicle recovery, documentation, and restoration. A niche business built entirely on his proven honesty and exceptional mechanical genius. His reputation as the mechanic who finds the truth opened doors he never knew existed. He kept one memento: the original sealed steel plate that protected the video module. It was mounted on his new office wall, a permanent reminder that the greatest treasures are often found not in gold, but in the integrity of turning evidence over to the light. The M4, the ghost car, had not just saved his garage. It had secured his family's future, transforming him from a struggling single father into a recognized expert in a unique field. The story of Daniel and the M4 proves that sometimes the most valuable part of a salvage job isn't the metal you cut, but the truth you uncover. If you loved this journey from derelict car to mechanical triumph, don't miss out on our next adventure. Subscribe to the channel for more tales of fortune hidden in abandoned vehicles. Thanks for watching.